Interaction rules between rails and water change in 1.17. Remember when water just flushed all the rails and we had to build them again? Well, that changed. As you can see here, rails are completely capable of holding water. That includes under the water. Even now we're able to place them underwater, so they are waterloggable. So I want to revisit my old sugarcane farm. Just remember the sugarcane may be placed on blocks that are just beside water. The blocks where sugarcane may be placed are grass blocks, dirt, coarse dirt, pothole, mud, rooted dirt, mycelium, sand, and red sand. So we may have this configuration here, where if we have a block of water, sugarcane may be placed on either of these 4 blocks. And in this water block here, we may place any of these blocks that are waterloggable. Official terminology. As you see, it may be any of these blocks, like stairs, slabs, or fences. The slabs may be the bottom or the top half. So how do we build a plantation? One option is like this, where we have these strips of water. In this case, we have that 2/3 of the area are used to plant sugarcane, and 1/3 of the area is water. But a second option is like a grid like this, where if we distribute the water source blocks, we may have 4 blocks available for plantation for each water source. So if we use this configuration, this is what the plantation will look from an air view. So in this configuration, 4/5 of the area is going to be used for plantation and 1/5 for water. And comparing these two configurations, we have 66% of plantation area versus 80% of plantation area. So why do I want to revisit my old farm? As you can see underground, the collection system is on hopper minecarts. And in the case of this farm, I use this configuration, where if you see these trenches, underneath is the water source blocks. And of course in these times I could not permit that the water be left over the rails, or they will be flushed away. But as I said, this changed on 1.17. In the new design you can see this configuration where the rails cover all the area. I can break this block and the water won't flush. Rails are able to contain water. And we have this case where if under a block we place a hopper minecart, it is able to collect any item that falls over that block. But with slabs we can place them on the bottom part or the top part. So here we have an area of 20 by 30 blocks. If we activate the farm, the flying machine will travel over all this area, come here to this simple circuit, sending the flying machine back again. And upon the arrival, the flying machine will activate the minecarts, setting off the collecting system. Now I'll show you activating the machine with its node block and see how the magic happens. You can see here on the back I have a water canal that will push the sugarcane back to the rails, because the flying machine shoots out the sugarcane and we don't want to waste it. And you can see here they will be collected by the hopper minecarts when they pass over the rails. And so the minecarts go off. They make 2 turns and they come back. They return with almost 3 stacks of sugarcane and they start to deliver all the load. Upon experimentation, we obtained this quantity of sugarcane in 1 harvest, almost 14 stacks. So let's go to a tutorial to see how to build this thing. The materials will be displayed following. We have some construction blocks, some leaves, sugarcane, the grass blocks or any dirt block, water, and some slabs and stairs. And here you can see the rails, some redstone components, the hopper minecarts, and our tools we always use to build. In order to see how the collection system works, I have elevated this farm 2 blocks, but it is very recommended that the dirt blocks used to plant the sugarcane are at ground level, in order to make the farm more aesthetic. And that way this will look like a plantation field. So the first thing we have to do is dig out a hole in this shape. The bigger portion is 22 by 33 by 3 blocks deep. And just beside it you can see the space by 5 by 5 by 22 blocks. Come to this burr section and we locate the middle block. Here we will build ladders to a top. And the same thing is done to the other side. Now we come to this part that divides both sections and we build a wall 2 blocks high. Here in the extreme we're going to place these blocks and build a road till the end. With this block exposed over here. Now we come over here, over the stone. We count 7 blocks towards this direction and we place a row of these redstone blocks. To the other extreme. Now we come to the other end, leaving 1 block space, and with our primary blocks we build a line. Then we count 7 blocks more and we also build another row of redstone blocks. Now with our secondary block we will fill up all the spaces we left empty. Remember to leave this 1 block space over here. And that way we have a platform ready. Now we come to the bottom, place a slab, and here under we place a double chest. And leaving 2 blocks in between, we place the other 4 double chests. Over the left part, we place hoppers feeding the chests. And then in the spaces in between, we place other 3 slabs. We place here a rail, then here a power rail, and another one here, so we direct the power rail appropriately. When with our normal rails, we come until the redstone block and place 2 power rails here. Then normal rails, in the redstone block we place another 2. We continue with the rails and make this turn over here, almost to the end. Then we go back to power rails, rails, and we come back here and another 2 power rails, like this. We come to the front part and make another turn and go back, and continue to make this pattern for another turn. And we come again to the front part, we just connect it here with another turn, returning to the original 2 power rails. Now we just do this 4 more times. And now it's ready. Now we come here and place a stair as our first block. With our construction blocks, we come here and we place another 4 blocks in a row. Now a stair. And we just continue till the end, where the stairs are going to be the waterlogged blocks that contain water. We come to the front part, and we continue to repeat this pattern. one block towards this side and 2 blocks over here, so the water will contain over here. Here we can place a slab, and in between we place these dirt blocks. And from the slabs we repeat the pattern. For dirt, 1 slab. For dirt, 1 slab. Just like this. Or for now we can leave the slabs. Now 1 block behind, and we continue the pattern with the dirt, leaving an empty space every 5 blocks. And we continue to expand this until we reach the other side. Now the final pattern should look like this. We're going to make a hole 2 by 2, and that way we can replicate water. So we filled up all our buckets until we need, and we come to each of these holes and we start to fill them up. And finally, when we have all these water blocks, we just place our slabs here and contain the water. Now that I think about it, these slabs are pretty much useless. Unless you want to come inside here and walk and not fall into the water, well yeah, these blocks aren't really doing anything. And now we take our sugarcane, and each of these dirt blocks we start to plant them out. Right, and now we're going to make our walls made out of leaves. So on this front part where the collection system is, we're going to make this wall 1 block high. When we come to one of these sides, we're going to make walls 3 blocks high. Now we come to this bottom part, and with the same leaves we make this U shape here, on the borders. And we take this towards the ground level, making it 2 blocks high. Now we come here to these blocks, and to one of the extremes we make a wall 1 block high. We come back to a corner, and on the exterior part, before raising this up, we're going to place these waters here, like you saw the collection system at the end. So we make all this line with water source blocks, so the water flows towards the rails. And that way any item that falls over here, they're going to be dragged towards the rail to be collected. So we come here to the end and raise all this wall 3 blocks high. We're going to do the same thing in this lateral wall. So here in the front, in the 3rd block, we're going to do a line 9 blocks wide, as well as the other side. Now we're going to build a platform with scaffolds in order to work on this front part. To build a flying machine, we're going to place a block here and a line of 9 slime blocks over here. Behind the last line block, we're going to place a sticky piston facing in this direction. At the top of the slime block, an observer facing up. So we follow this line here. Come to a wall and remove this leaf. Here we're going to place a furnace facing this direction, an observer, and on top of the observer a repeater over here. In the behind of the repeater here a redstone, and in front of the repeater the disruptor. Now we remove this block. We come to the side and we filled up a line with leaf blocks until here, and on the other side also. Here we place a sticky piston in this direction, and in front of the sticky piston we're going to place the final slime blocks here. Almost until the end, but finally here we're going to place an observer facing in this direction. We leave a space, here a node block, and under the furnace an observer. And the final part is place an observer over this line block. We see that the flying machine goes off as soon as we do this, then it returns. Now on the corner we're going to remove these leaves here, solid block, a piston. We're going to place a platform of half slabs over here. Redstone dust in this L shape. Here a repeater, this on the 4th place, also on the 4th place. Here we place another piece of redstone, a comparator, and in front of the comparator we'll place another repeater. Now we come to the downside, and in front of these power rails we're going to place blocks. Now in the spaces in between, we place glass blocks. On the out of this repeater we're going to place a block under here, and finally we place a redstone line all the way to the ends. Now we come to this down part and place our hopper minecarts over the power rails. And to end we're going to place a redstone block in front of the pistons. And we're going to see if the system works. And finally our farm is almost ready. We just have to wait for the sugarcane to grow. Let's go into use some magic until the sugarcane grows towards the maximum height. So every morning you wake up on your base, you can come here and activate the switch. You're going to see here in the final part, a lot of the sugarcane going to bounce here on the wall and go towards the water stream. Then the flying machine comes to a circuit, and the circuit sends it off again. When it returns, the minecart hoppers start collecting all the items. Then they come here, and each hopper minecart is going to collect approximately 3 stacks of items. In total, they practically filled up half a chest. This means that with 2 harvests, they can fill up an entire chest. And with 4 harvests, we can fill up a double chest. In this case, you can see hopper minecart filled up half of it. As a maximum, we can probably extend this farm another 30 blocks, or maybe only 20. But we can also build another one side by side, and the field will look like this. As you can see, this farm has practically 4 times the capacity, and because of aesthetics, we can cover up all these parts, so it looks better. And if you cover up all these circuits, this practically looks like a plantation camp. You can also come to these water blocks and place leaf blocks. That way it also looks green, making the plantation to look better. So let's build this farm, and you tell me how it turned out to be. This has been BigBrother161, and remember, I will be watching.